It is Wednesday, September 6th. It's midweek already. That's good. Only 2 days in and it's already midweek. So that feels like a big win. Let's see. I'm going to add Doug in here on Instagram in just a second, and then we'll get started, including a puppy appearance. I'm going to put my new dog on video, his world debut. All right, let's get Doug in here, and hopefully some other people will join us. I see my mom is here. That's a good start as a content producer. You always want to see your mom in first. All right. Let's see. I'm not seeing anyone yet, Doug, on the YouTube stream. Are you? I see that you're here now. That's good.
Hey, Matt. I am here. It's going well. Good. You know, if they say that if your mom's not reading your blog, then that's not worth writing, right? So
yeah, right. I think that's a good point. But hopefully you want others as well. And we do have Mr. Jeffrey and Jeff Hudnall. We got a pair of Jeffs here.
Yeah, we got the Jeffs.
Okay.
The reliable Jeffs here. That's great.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm going to wait. I'm still going to wait till more people because I don't want to just put my dog on camera for just us three because the throngs of podcast listeners won't get to see it. It'll just hear, and that wouldn't be a good.
We've got throngs of Instagram followers over here, which we should tell them to go to YouTube. You know, I think we probably lose so many people trying to get them to go to YouTube, but that is where the show's better. We throw a bunch of things up on the screen. There's a lot of chat happening, a lot more interaction happening over on YouTube, and it's just a much more enjoyable experience. So head over to youtube.com/NoMeanAthlete. And that's where the magic happens.
All right, ready for the puppy? Hank is his name. Well, it's his temporary. It's his working name. Here he comes.
His working name.
You can see he is tiny. He fits
so
right
small.
there. Look, buddy. Look at the camera. All right, there he is.
Hi, Hank.
On camera. See, he's sort of Chihuahua-like, but he's not entirely Chihuahua-like. Doesn't have pointy bad ears yet, so hopefully he won't get those. Anyway, there he is. That's his debut. Holden, you can get him out of here.
I love it.
Thank you. So that's good. He's it was an early morning today because we were still fostering the other dog, which is turning out to be fun because she's like mothering to the puppy in an interesting way. She I don't know. She like corn cobs him and like nudges him around and stuff. But with two of the dogs, you know, it's very hard to sleep. So we were up early and I'm tired today. Anyway, so this is not a foster. Neil says future foster fail. And no, not in this case. We actually, from the get-go, adopted him. So if it's a failure, then it would be an adoption failure and he'd go back, I guess. But that won't happen. He's good. So anyway, that's, always something. Keep him busy.
So do you guys set ground rules for your puppy from the very beginning around like where it can sleep or furniture can jump up on and that kind of thing, or is it just kind of a free-for-all?
With the sleeping, we're intentionally not letting him like sleep in the bed because I think if they just get used to it at this age, they'll never stop. So we're just not doing that. We're fine with the bedroom though. So his little crate setup is in the bedroom, and soon enough he won't need that, and he'll just hopefully just sleep on the floor.
So no co-sleeping in the bed.
No, I don't want to do that. It's not good. But the couches, I don't know. It seems like whenever we do this with the foster dogs, we always start out with like no couches, and then it gradually just eventually it gets loosened up. That rule.
Yeah, I mean that's the story of parenting too, right? To come in with a lot of ambitions around what kind of ground rules you're going to set for your kids. No toys all over the place. We're not going to. Every new toy that comes in, and one's going to go out, and then just
Right, exactly, right. Especially by the time the second kid rolls around, and this would be our third dog as a family event, not counting the foster. So by now, we understand nothing's going to actually last. So from the beginning, just let the house go to hell, But now we got to start vacuuming. We didn't have to vacuum very much when it was just a cat, but now we do. Everybody's clothes has hair on them and stuff. So whatever. Yeah. That's dog ownership. But the kids are happy. That's
why I don't want a dog. Good. That's the reason. I know. Honestly, that's
the reason you hate dogs. Is the hair on things?
That's the one of the top 2 or 3 reasons. Yeah.
It definitely is nice. You know what else is nice? Not having a pet that you can just go out the door and you can leave the door open, and it's just fine. I guess with certain dogs, that's not a problem so much. But with a cat, for sure, it is. She just sprint outside, and then she's lost. But you realize, like, in the very short time when we had no pet after my dog died last year, it was just so weird to walk out to the house, to the car to get something or whatever, and just be able to leave the door open. It was just such a like laid back lifestyle, and you don't get that now.
Yeah.
But then you'd miss out on all the fun of a puppy.
That's right. That is true. You miss out on all the fun.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. We got a bunch of stuff today. In fact, we had so much today that I had to put things off to tomorrow, including our friend Tanya over at Veg News, her Whole30 plant-based experiment, which I'm eager to get into. I read the article; it was good. I guess cool. Whole30 has never been vegan friendly before, and they've had enough people have asked over the years that they finally have modified the program and allow beans in some sort of plant-based version. Maybe there's other things they don't allow. Soy in particular, not allowed. But I think they like added in the beans, which maybe were out from the beginning. I'm not actually sure how the Whole30 works. I think maybe there was meat in the original version, and now they've sort of swapped beans in that for the plant-based. So anyway, still sounds very restrictive and difficult to do. But anyway, we can talk about that one tomorrow. And I got another one.
Hey, if Tanya still listens to the show, which she may have given up on us after all of your comments about Veg News,
I'm pro Veg News. I say things like they are, but I really like their articles.
If she ever wants to come on and talk about this, she wants to do that tomorrow. That'd be fun.
Right. Or any day. Yeah, that would be great. Let us know, Tanya. Reach out, please. Good. So we got that. We have more stuff for today. So it'll be a good one. And what there's not too much is the weather report. So that'll be pretty short. Anything before we get into that, Doug? We're at 11:10 already. But any news from you? Any updates? Or just normal life in the Hay household?
I'm focusing my training now. I've decided to. All right, so I got this 100K in November. It's got I think around 13 or 14,000 feet of gain.
Okay.
In descent, which is a pretty substantial amount over the course of 60 miles. And so I have decided that I'm going to refocus my training less on mileage and almost entirely on vertical gain, how much elevation I can get on these runs and descent. So up and down to make sure that I am fully prepared for that. And I have this hypothesis that if I just spend a lot of time on my feet climbing and descending, then that will be enough time out on the trail, even though the distance might be a little shorter. And that will be better for me than paying any attention to mileage. So I'm trying something different this time and really focusing entirely on the elevation gain.
I like it. And you can walk those hills if you need to. Like that's still totally valid. Counts.
Yeah, sure.
Walking smart.
Hike. It's called hiking, Matt. When you're in the woods, it's called hiking, not walking. But yes.
I don't know. I always call it walking. I always said the best part of ultra running is you can walk the hills. So I'm staying with that because I don't like hiking. Hiking sounds miserable, but walking sounds nice. And I guess the elevation then would slow you down enough. So even if you're doing less distance.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like I did 11 miles on Saturday or Sunday, but it was 3 hours, and I felt good about the 3 hour time. 11 miles would have been a little disappointing had I been just going for distance.
Right. That's really slow.
No, but I got 4,000 over 4,000 feet of gain. So it was an intense 11 miles.
Huh. Interesting. Very different type of running.
Yeah.
Then I'm interested. Good for you. And what's the race again? What's the race that you're doing in November?
It's called the Looking Glass 100K in North Carolina around DuPont or not DuPont. I guess it's Pisgah National Forest. So around us, it's outside Asheville.
Okay. Cool. Good. And you're doing it with a friend, right?
Doing it with a friend. Yep. And so we've been training together. We're taking this approach together. And this is his first 100K. So I'm feeling a little bit of pressure if I lead us astray. And
right.
And the elevation is not the right move.
Right.
I'm a little nervous about that, but
yeah. I mean, well, I guess what you lose is you lose out on the total number of impacts of your feet on the ground, right? Like you don't get quite as many hits. But I guess with the downhills you'll have more, the energy.
Yeah. Right. I mean, people can have crazy volume of mileage, right? And then they just are running downhill for more time than they had planned, and their quads go. And
right.
I mean, so you're kind of you're training your legs for a certain type of running, which will be slower and a lot of hiking and a lot of descending. But I don't know. I don't know. It's different. I'm a little bit nervous, in part because I feel like I'm guiding my running partner here. But
yeah, right. And what about Katie? Katie is she's still training for half marathon? Is that right?
Yeah. She's still training for half marathon, and it's going great. She's increasing every week, and stoked on it.
All right. Mm-hmm. Good job. Active household. I like
lots of running. Not lots of running in this house.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Good. All right. Well, with that, then I guess we'll jump into the weather report, and we got music today in full force. All right, Wednesday, September 6th. Can't believe it's September 6th. That sounds like that's crazy. That's fall time. But here we are. This is a good one. This is the only good one. The other couple ones are pretty boring. But this one, Sodexo, I guess is how you say it. I don't know. It's the catering company. They do all the universities. And Savor Eat have a partnership. They've officially deployed their 3D printing robot chef as part of the project at the University of Denver, which has marked its U.S. debut. So that means students can now get their burgers printed the way they want them, printed and cooked to order, so they can pick their size, the doneness level, the protein content even. I don't know how they adjust that, but that's kind of cool, I guess. I mean, sounds super like reductionist, but neat that you can do it. And cooking style. So I guess that would mean, I don't know if that means like broiling versus grilling versus saute, or if that means like Asian versus pizza burger versus
maybe smash burger.
Stack burger.
It probably means like well done.
No, that's doneness. What are we talking about? Doneness is its own category.
Oh, doneness.
Okay. So style might mean like what seasoning? Maybe Montreal steak broiled seasoning, or who knows what the robot might do. Maybe it'll go AI on you and just do some random thing that it makes up and then pretend like it's real. Yeah. So,
this is weird, man. This is kind of weird.
It's the first time that I've heard it. It's always been this fantasy of robots cooking our food. And you know, it happens in fast food restaurants a little bit, but this one seems weird that like it just makes your burger for you. It's like the soda machine that you go and pick your flavor and all that, and you just get this, cherry vanilla Coke. Except now you do it with a burger. Plant-based burger, though. I don't know if we said that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would assume so.
Right. Animal meat.
It feels weird to like think about them actually doing it in front of you. I guess that's weird. Like not so much the 3D printing, but to be able to punch in some numbers and then have them create a burger printed right in front of you. That feels a little odd to me. But that's the.
It does feel odd, and it also, as much as I didn't think I valued the interaction with the person who's giving me that burger, the person who cooks you the burger, that's a little different. It's nice to know a person cooked your burger, then that they would serve it like at a home. That happens, and you feel some love transferred with the food. It's not like that in a restaurant necessarily, but still someone gives it. This is just a little strange to just like you order it, it's made, but there's no person involved. It just doesn't feel quite human in the interaction. I don't know, a little weird. So we'll see, but it's apparently it's aiming to pave the way for commercializing the robot chef and Savor Eat products in the U.S. market. I don't know if that's just for schools or if they're going to be trying to do it everywhere and eventually get one in your house. I have no idea. Apparently, also,
did you see Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
No. Heard of it. Good. Is it good?
It's I mean, it's not bad. It's fun.
It's one of those kid movies. It's like a Pixar or something
cartoon.
Like that. Or,
Pixar.
Or DreamWorks.
And it's about this inventor who invents this machine that can, I think you add water or something and it produces, it can convert anything into food, right? And so it just like prints burgers, not prints, but like makes burgers appear, makes pizza appear, ice cream, whatever you want. And it of course goes awry and burgers are flying everywhere and everybody's getting overweight and then, everything. Anyway, but what is that's what I picture here, right? Like, so first they can 3D print the burger, but when do we start 3D printing the pizza? And where you just go, like you just have one of these in your house, you just put in a bunch of ingredients, like on standby, and then you just use your app and it cooks you a meal from 3D prints whatever meal you want.
I mean, that can't be far off. It sounds like that all could be done now if someone wanted, but maybe just hasn't. I don't know. I mean, because people don't want to cook anymore. That's clear. So that would do a good thing, and maybe that'd be a big improvement if you can eventually cook in your own, at least be cooking your own food, and you can.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
know
it could.
what's
Yeah.
going in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, interesting times.
I'm gonna share a picture of this machine, this robot here.
Oh, I didn't know we had
seen
that.
it?
No, I have not seen that.
It's hard to tell how big it actually is, but you'd think that they could reduce that down to a countertop.
It's not a
size.
Robot. I wanted like mechanical arms and like
I know.
big hook hands. Those
Well, that's probably what's happening just behind the door there.
Yeah,
but it is kind of disappointing. You'd think it like little 3D printing machine. Have you seen? I mean, you've seen 3D printers.
I've seen a little bit of 3D printing.
Yeah, like that's
what. Yeah, you don't even get to see the printing process. Yeah, it's
maybe through the window you can.
Maybe. Okay, they point out in the end of this article, this is Vegconomist, that this is especially beneficial in the 20 to 30-year-old demographic where over half the age group identifies as flexitarian. I didn't realize that, but then you click on the link, and the article, when that was released, that stat from a PR release was March 2022. And I think the times have changed since then with this backlash seemingly against plant-based meats especially. So I don't know. I think it was like somebody's clinging to the idea. And we saw it yesterday too. Someone putting 2022 stats and showing the positive trajectory of plant-based meats. I don't know. I think people need to wake up a little bit.
Yeah. One thing we didn't comment on yesterday in that ridiculous article on Yahoo. I think it was Canada that they were talking about, and they said 10% of people are vegetarian or vegan in Canada.
Well, we saw 6% in the U.S. was vegetarian, and then another 1% vegan according to that thing.
Okay,
right?
So that would be 7%.
It'd be a little more. Yeah, in Canada, I'm sure it's higher.
Okay,
just because Europe's higher and Canada's like a Europe.
Basically. Maybe it was the United Kingdom actually. Anyway,
Anyway, on to the next. Speaking of the United Kingdom, M&S, which is short for Marks and Spencer. I don't know this place. Maybe Steven does if he's here today with us. I think he is. He's our European guy. They're recalling their Plant Kitchen no chicken and chorizo sandwich because of a health concern, said the article headline. Clicked on it. Turns out it's not really a health concern. I mean, it kind of is. But it's not like a meat recall where there's E. coli. It's that the sandwich contained egg that was not mentioned on the menu. So people who had an egg allergy or intolerance, then they'd have a health risk. I'm not announcing this for the public, service of announcing a recall. I just thought it was interesting that you don't really hear about plant-based foods being recalled very often. I know now and then we hear about a kale thing or something from the grocery store. But I found it kind of funny. They apologized to the customers, offer full refunds, put out a statement saying, let's see. Please do not consume this product if you have an allergy or intolerance to egg. If you wish to exchange the product, we can return it to your nearest store. I just thought it was funny that there's no mention of sorry if you're a vegan and don't like eating eggs for ethical reasons. Not because you're allergic, but you may have eaten an egg and it was our fault. And we told you there was no egg, but there was, which relates to one of our articles later on today. I'm not saying that they should apologize for that because I don't know. I don't need that apology if if I ate the egg, I don't know. I guess I'd personally write to them and hope they'd apologize. But I don't care about the public message. I just thought it was funny that they didn't say, hey, we realize this is an important thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to call it vegan, but just just say that we mislabeled and you might have eaten something you didn't want.
Right. Right. Even if you didn't have a health issue, but the message all about health issue. So it just seems
is it labeled as vegan? Oh yeah, it is. I'm looking at the label now. Yeah.
How do you find these labels? What, you just Google the name of it?
I'm just really good at the internet.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Yeah, anyway, it sounds like they only did it it was only one day because they had to have a use by date of September 6th and a barcode number or whatever. So it wasn't all the sandwiches. It was just a few that got it. Probably the robot making the sandwiches put egg in accidentally, went ChatGPT on us and just started improvising. Who knows? Okay.
This is funny. Steven suggested that the robot needs at least googly eyes, even if you can't see the arms.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Couldn't. Yeah. How much effort would that
make it a little more fun?
Right. Yeah. Keep everyone thinking robots are nice and good and friendly. All right. This one I accidentally cut out yesterday. It's not that exciting. The company that makes Ozempic and Wegovy. Do you know Wegovy, Doug? WEGOVY?
No.
Okay, well, the company's name is Novo Nordisk. They're from Denmark. That Wegovy is like a new, cheaper version of Ozempic, which, of course, is the drug that I think is meant for diabetes, I think, and turned out to be great at making people lose weight. So it's worldwide sensation right now. The company, they became Europe's most valuable company, eclipsing luxury conglomerate LVMH. I don't know them. Maybe Steven does. They have a value of $428 billion as of yesterday, but that moves up and down each day, of course, with the share price. So anyway, interesting news that the weight loss product, that thing. I mean, if there's a weight loss pill that works and the side effects aren't bad, which I don't know if they are yet.
Yeah, I think no one really knows yet.
What's gonna make a company more valuable than that? That sounds like a formula for success. We should have done that. We should have made compliment Ozempic. All right. This one is boring. Britons. How do you say that? Doug, Britons. Steven, tell us how you say that. Britons. Steven, you just need to be a part of the show all the time, I guess.
Yeah, you've called on Steven a lot today.
Yeah. Is it Britons or Britons?
Is it like people who live in Britain?
Yeah. Tons.
Britons. It has to be Britons.
But then it sounds just like the name Britain, which is spelled totally different. Anyway, they are turning away from meat with a majority backing subsidies for plant-based alternatives, according to RSPCA, which I assume means Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and that would make it, of course, a animal welfare organization. So you got to adjust these numbers down a little bit, probably, to account for the fact that they conducted this survey or research. But they found that 58% of Britons have reduced or taken steps to eliminate or reduce their meat consumption. 57% think the country should consume fewer animal products, which is always easy to say, even if you don't personally intend on doing that. And 58% said they would be supportive of government subsidies to help cut the cost of plant-based alternatives. Again, very easy to say that you'd be supportive of subsidies when you don't have to decide what gets cut to do it or pay more taxes to do it. So anyway, there's your stats for the day. That we always try to when the stats come up, we include them, but honestly, they're kind of boring. So that's your weather report. That's it. That's all we got.
It's a good one.
Well, the robot was good, and the egg recall was good. I don't know what the last two. All right. On to our topic. So we mentioned earlier in the weather report this thing about eating the egg and not realizing it. Because someone or the company would say this is vegan, turns out not to be. This is from twistedsifter.com. I've never heard of that ever, but it looks to be just some sort of general publication. Has art, travel, nature, space, architecture, animals. So who knows what their niche is. But the headline is, she made a big scene out of it and started crying. That's all in quotes. She doesn't want to eat her coworker's vegan birthday cake. Was she a jerk? And then they go on to call it AITA, which is Am I the A-hole, of course. I think that's a Reddit thing.
I had to look that up. Did you know that?
As soon as I saw it, I knew what it was because I've read these stories before. But, I didn't really know that was like an acronym people used.
I think you should read this whole thing. I was trying to figure out how we can talk about it, but I feel like you need the whole context.
Okay, let's read the whole thing. It's not that long. All right, so this is from, I don't know if they say her name. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So I, 29F, am working in an office and have a colleague, BEA, who routinely makes fun of vegans. I'm vegan and I never make a fuss about food. I go to the same restaurants as my coworkers during lunch hour, and I can always find myself something to eat without announcing my dietary choices. So that sounds a lot like me and you, Doug, and probably a lot of listeners of this show who have a similar attitude. Anyway, B keeps calling me out on it, though, and she's very condescending about it. She keeps saying I'm just having a phase, and she keeps offering me bites of her lunch that contain cheese and meat. And when I refuse, she just goes, "Oh, come on, it's vegan, I promise." Wink, wink. It's very childish and annoying, and even other people asked her to tone it down, but she insists she's just joking. Last week, she brought a homemade cake to the office for her birthday. And when she put a slice down in front of me, I politely thanked her, but I said I can't eat that. She said the cake is vegan, and she made it specifically so I could eat it. But knowing her very loose definition of vegan, I asked a few questions about the ingredients, and she didn't check any of them for milk or eggs, so I thanked her again, but refused the slice. She made a big scene out of it and started crying and saying she just wanted to do something nice for me, and now I ruined her birthday. Some colleagues told me not to mind her dramatics, but my boss told me that it was her birthday and I could have given her cooking the benefit of the doubt. I sort of see his point, but I also feel like I don't need to justify my food choices to anyone, and I never asked her to make the cake vegan for me. AITA ? So what do we think, Doug?
Is she the TA?
She the a-hole?
Is she the... Yeah. All right. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the article, they put a few screenshots, and everyone who they choose to screenshot says, no, you're fine. No reason you should have had to eat this cake. And I don't know if it's a vegan site. I don't really think so. I've never heard of it before, so I doubt it.
No.
Right. So I'm surprised that they were so friendly to her, but good. Glad they were. Here's what I think. I think, no, she's not the A for doing this. But if it were me, I would have eaten the cake. Because
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just have if someone tells me something's vegan, like if I check and the check passes, I'm okay with that. I tried. Like I don't
even if they give you things that obviously aren't vegan and try to encourage you to eat those.
Yeah, I guess that's a little different. But they do the wink wink thing. Like it sounded like she was always kidding, and in this case, it wasn't a kid. It was a real thing. She really did make it vegan. I don't think this was a joke that was being done on the person talking here. If I got that sense that it was a joke on me and they were trying to trick me, that's one thing. But I don't know. I think if I check and someone says, yes, I made this vegan for you, I don't need to go investigate and find out if they did or not. If I think they really have no idea what they're doing, and I guess if it involved meat instead of milk or eggs, I'd be a little bit more squeamish about it. But yeah, I don't know. If I check and someone says it's good, who would know? Then I'm good with that.
Well, but it sounds like okay. I do not think she's the A, and I think that I would have refused it as well, and I think that she should have been as well, or she was perfectly in her right to refuse it as well, because it sounds like she didn't check for milk and eggs. She didn't really know if it was vegan, and she obviously doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's unfortunate that she got her feelings hurt, but this sounds like a her thing and not a. This sounds like a B thing, and not the vegan.
Well, B definitely has some issues here.
No
doubt about that.
No one should ever be pressured to eat anything. Period.
Right.
Even if it's vegan or not vegan. Right. And no one should be expected to eat anything, especially birthday cake or something like that. I mean, you just never know if you want it or not. And I don't know. I mean, there's just so many things. So like, had she gone way out of her way to make a vegan cake, clearly, had she gone and purchased a vegan cake from a vegan cake baker, I mean, maybe like at that point, you get a small slice and you just you go through it. But this sounds like she just made herself a cake, and it's possible she chose not to, or she chose to get the no need to add water cake mix instead of add milk and eggs. But a lot of those cake mixes have egg in them, right, and milk powder in them, right, and so if she had truly tried to make a vegan cake, then it would have been obvious to her that it was vegan. She would have looked up a vegan recipe or found a vegan box or something like that. Sure. So, in my opinion, she's totally within the right to do it. And this lady sounds like a piece of work. She is a piece of work, and her boss should have, like her coworkers. I don't know. I mean, you should never feel pressure to eat anything. That's what I say.
No, right. That's true. You probably shouldn't. Here's the thing though. For as a vegan, I don't know why I am this way, but I never want to be the person who makes people think, oh, those vegans, they're trouble. They demand their food a certain way, and they're I don't know. It just makes it not look like an appealing thing. And I think that's why I am sort of lenient when it comes to this stuff. Like if someone's telling me they made it vegan, I don't want to be the one who has to then investigate it and then leaves them in the office perhaps and the boss with this impression, not just of me, but of vegans that nothing's good enough for us. We need to have a certified stamp on there or else we're not going to eat it. Even if someone genuinely makes it and genuinely says it's vegan and thinks it is. So I don't know. I feel like it's better for the animals, better for the movement for me to eat that thing, knowing it might possibly have milk in one of the ingredients she used, but she thinks it's vegan. I don't know. I just think it's a better look for vegan. Not everyone agrees with that. People would say, no, it looks good to sometimes stand up for your values and say, no, I'm not crossing this line. Like I have to be absolutely sure. I don't know, but that's how I've always approached it, I think. And I understand that that's not everybody's approach.
Yeah. I mean, so I agree with you for the most part. And in most situations, I would agree with you. I think that the like peer pressure from before and the inconsiderate, her inconsideration for, for her diet in the past makes me just not want to trust her. I mean, like, I think that at that point, it's okay to ask questions or assume the worst, and you can just move on, and you can celebrate her birthday and have the fruit or whatever that someone else brought in, and wish her happy birthday and move on. Like it just had it been just someone else who maybe was curious about your diet and thoughtful in the past and was trying and happened to make a mistake or whatever, like that's a different story.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that she says that she ruined her birthday because of this, that's just insane to me that would possibly ruin somebody's birthday. And then Mr. Jeffy points out that it's a boy who cried wolf situation. And that's actually, as I was reading, I thought exactly that. So yeah, I get that. All right, here's a question. So when I first read this, I misread it. And I, not here live, but earlier today. And I thought she had made the cake for the subject's birthday, for the person talking, not for Beast. And it was a sort of a gift to her. And she said, hey, I made this cake vegan for you. It's your birthday, so I made it for you. Then is it any different? For me, it is. Then I'm definitely eating that cake. If they tell me it's vegan, I'm not asking questions. I'm just listening and doing it. Assuming I sort of trust the person, right? If I think the person's out to get me, then I'm not going to do that. But if I think she might not know, then, I'm just
if someone made the effort to make me a cake and they believe that it's vegan and you trust them enough to know that they're not like out to get you, like you said. Yeah, definitely.
Even if there's a good chance she made a mistake and didn't check one of the ingredients or something properly.
I think so. I mean, if someone is trying to go out of the way to be nice to me, I think that I think I trust them enough and I'm gonna go for it. But but yeah, I mean, it's bake a cake for yourself. Like, I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, not baking yourself cake for yourself. Like, that's fine. Like, no judgment there. But but then to force that upon everyone else.
Right. I'm curious what people think. Everyone here listening has basically said that they're on the side of you shouldn't eat it, or she shouldn't feel like she should have eaten it. They wouldn't have eaten it. All these things. I'm curious though if it was a gift. The thing I just said, if it was a gift for your birthday, this person does this, then would you do it, or would you still not? So let us know that. I'll read a couple here, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Someone mentioned that it could have been a health issue, and that's a good point. That's like the egg thing we were talking about earlier. And what if it were an allergic reaction? This is from Dale Stevens. Of course, there'd be no pressure. Oh, if it was an allergic reaction rather than veganism, there'd be no pressure. But because it's sort of a choice, it seems different to some people. So there you go. And let's see. Steven says, I work with a very traditional Italian girl in the bar who constantly gives me grief about being vegan. So I'm biased at the moment. Yeah, I hate that. That's tough.
I know. I hate that for you, Steven.
Yeah.
She needs to.
Hopefully it's joking, flirtatious grief.
Oh, maybe she's coming on to you.
Yeah, maybe Steven could parlay it into a date. Although I think he's already spoken for, right? Yeah. All right, good. Let's do one more here. Sarah Slemp says, my take is no one should ever feel like they have to eat anything they don't want to. She shouldn't have had to even ask the questions. Her no should be enough.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it should. But I know there's a whole no means no, right? That's a very much more serious thing than this case. Or this is just your eating and your decisions about what to eat. So I don't think it's not like some horrible thing that they didn't. Now, if she's got an eating disorder or something, then
yeah, but you never know. You never know.
That's true. You never know. You're right. Very good point. All right. So nobody's answering about whether they would eat it if it was baked for their birthday, which makes me suspect that everyone would eat it and just doesn't want to say it. That's my guess. All right. Well, we'll move on. If you want to chime in on that one, you can. Anyone who's here listening. This next one we've got, and last one for today, from Veg Economist, also from Veg News. They did their own version. The headline says, time to challenge the price barrier concept. Analysis finds vegan diet saves $500 per year. All right, here's a good example. I didn't even notice this till now, but you mentioned my sometimes beef with Veg News. Vegconomist here says, a recent analysis conducted by the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, published in Journal of American Medical Association, et cetera, sheds light. So as soon as I see that, I think, okay, biased article, biased research, right? Because I like PCRM. They provide good advice and support for people who are eating plant-based diets, and they put out information in the world that is positive about plant-based diets. So I like that they're doing that service. At the same time, it makes, anytime I see research from them, I know it's going to be pro plant-based, right? It's not going to get published. As far as I know, please prove me wrong. I'd be happy to change my opinion here. Because I really would like to like PCRM even more. But if there's a negative result as far as plant-based diets, they won't publish that research, would be my guess. So anyway, and it's not directly from PCRM, like the head person on the paper, that's their number one affiliation is PCRM. So anyway, so it's PCRM. Veg News doesn't tell you that. It just says a new clinical trial published today in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that a vegan diet, et cetera, right? So they've got a little more agenda there to try to convert people to veganism. Vegconomist does as well, but I think they try to be a little bit more disclosing of all information. Fair, Doug? Is that fair?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
I don't mean to call out anyone. I like PCRM. I like Veg News. I just also like complete transparency if possible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. Anyway, what they found was that a vegan diet actually is cheaper than a meat-based diet, hopefully putting to bed, probably not, but hopefully, the old objection that it's too expensive to eat a plant-based diet. So what they found was they split people into two groups randomly, either a vegan group or a control group. So this wasn't people who were already vegans or what. They just got people to do a trial, and then they split them. And they said, you're going to eat this diet. They said, adhere to a low-fat vegan diet. And the control group just makes no dietary changes whatsoever. As it turned out, the vegan group experienced a 16% reduction in total food costs compared to the other group. And this was equivalent to $1.51 per day. And I guess that's just for one person's diet. So they said throughout the course of the year, that $1.50 per day adds up to $500 per year. And this includes the vegan people or the vegan group eating plant-based meat and dairy products, which are kind of the most expensive of the plant-based products. So that's already factored in here, and it still comes out to a $500 per year savings per person. They mentioned some of the figures here. They reduced spending on meat by $1.77 per day and dairy by 75 cents per day. That was offset by increased expenditure on vegetables. Only $1 per day, which is good to hear that you can do that. Fruits, 40 cents per day, legumes, 30 cents per day, whole grains, 30 cents per day. So there you go. The legumes and whole grains, because there's so many of the calories that you're eating, it's very cheap to get that many calories. So anyway, that's how it all shook out. And I don't know. We knew this. We've been saying this for a long time. This diet does not have to be more expensive. It's just a matter of picking the foods that aren't that expensive.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I think this is great. I think it's good research. Obviously, it tells a narrative that we believe in, and something that we feel. Right? If you're eating a whole food plant-based diet, then most of your food costs will go down. But it does get tricky once you start buying all the nuggets and all that stuff.
Yeah, right. And so Vegconomist goes on to point out and link to many of their articles. I think is the reason they included this bullet list. The items that actually are at price parity or better, that are the vegan versions of the meats or dairies. The ones they mentioned just really quickly. Rebellious. I don't know Rebellious. Do you, Doug? REBELLE has belly in it. Their vegan nuggets are at price parity with chicken. Hooray Foods vegan bacon is also. I'm not going to keep saying is at price parity. I'm just going to keep name the foods because price parity is said so many times in this article. Taco Bell's.
What's of note here? The second one they mentioned, the vegan bacon, is approaching price.
It's approaching, right? It's not a strong beginning to have your second one.
No,
not be there yet. Our favorite vegan place, Taco Bell, their vegan crunch wrap. It's not a vegan place, by the way. They have a good vegan menu. Their vegan crunch wrap is sold at parity to its original in the test markets. They're doing it. And other vegan fast food places, Next Level, Mr. Charlie's, and Heart House are all at the same price or less, their burgers, than conventional fast food. I know Mr. Charlie's has the 99-cent.
I'm kind of surprised by that. I didn't know that. Next
Yeah,
Level and Heart
it
House?
is surprising. You're right. Yeah, I knew Heart House had valued low prices as well. I haven't heard Next Level say that. But yeah, and Mr. Charlie's is sort of famous for their 99-cent burger. Just Egg, your household's favorite egg, Doug, liquid egg. Just last year.
It has been out of stock at the local grocer for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that might be because they've achieved the magic words, price parity with chicken eggs. And then over in the UK, Vivera's vegan salmon fillet, vegan fast food chain Ready Burger, they challenge McDonald's and Co. with the same price points. PETA lists a bunch. Juicy Marbles, whose steak is the one that was $69 down in Orlando, I think Charlie Steakhouse or something. Yeah. That apparently is at par or less than conventional filet mignon. So I don't know what people pay for conventional. $69 seemed pretty expensive to me, but who knows? And then Planted is offering its products at a cheaper price. And finally, in Europe, in France, Beyond Meat is often reaching price parity. Has dropped 40% in price. Gardein gourmet brand now underpricing leading French meat producer Charal. La Vie plant-based bacon as little as €2. In the Netherlands, Stephen, supermarket researcher found inflation and high raw material prices have caused animal meat prices to see. This is not even a product. This is just them trying to link to another article. And then some foie gras alternative in Spain, half the price of conventional.
I would hope so.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so there you go. And by the way, the conclusion here is that in 5 years' time, according to Vion Food Group, plant-based products will be cheaper and even better tasting than real meat. So I hope that happens. That'd be really great because that's two of the big objections: the taste / texture and the price. That won't necessarily handle the ultra-processed food objection, and that is a big one. But if we can get the taste and the price better, I think most people will then go for it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think most people really care about what's in their food. Right? The vast majority of people just don't. They just buy whatever. Fair?
Yeah. You know what I was just thinking as you were saying that?
What?
I was thinking back to that robot burger maker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if there had been a robot burger maker in my high school cafeteria, every single person would have gone for it. Crank up the protein as much as you can, get some sort of crazy thing added in there, flavor added in there, and done that every single time.
Because high school kids certainly don't care what's in their food. They don't think about that at all. The more protein, the better. The more flavor, the better. Does not matter how you come by those things. Just put them in. What about college though? Because it sounds like college is the market for this thing. Would that be any different?
I think in college a lot of people would have done it, and I probably in many years I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Me too. Certainly, in my younger years, would have been all about that.
Mm-hmm. So, and honestly, if I went into a cafeteria today and I saw one of those things, you're darn right I would try it.
You want to try it? Yeah.
Yeah. So
hard to imagine that that's not going to be everywhere within a short period of time.
We should get one for the office.
Yeah. The office that doesn't exist. Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. Shout out to 6Bs in the house who announced that they were in the house, and Instagram said 6Bs in the house. That's the only thing from Instagram. Any other listener comments from over here?
Mr. Jeffrey asks, how much of that savings is the inability to go out to eat more at restaurants? I think that this is looking at just your grocery bill. So not looking at restaurants.
Yeah, but their total grocery bill would go, well, no. Actually, then the meat eaters would be able to go to more restaurants still, so their bill would go up. I mean, sorry. Yeah, their grocery bill would go up because, the vegetarian vegan grocery bill would go up because they couldn't go out to eat as much. Yeah. So who knows? That's a good point. But that you would think that would bias the survey in that direction, or the study. So I don't know.
It's probably controlled for that, like how many meals you're buying for and et cetera.
Probably. One would hope. I mean, it's in Journal of American Medical Association. I think that's a fairly prestigious journal. So probably had to do some good work to get in there, despite my warnings about it being potential bias. But who knows? All right. Anything else? Are we done? We're done for the day.
Are we done? We're done. I guess we're done.
Yeah, me too. We haven't played in a long time the Friday song because we stopped doing Friday episodes, and we did have one a few weeks ago, and I saw it on the sound machine today, and I thought, we have not played that in forever.
Well, Thursday's the new Friday, so maybe we can play tomorrow.
We could start playing on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I missed that.
I know, it's fun.
You know what else we haven't done is what'd you have for dinner last night?
You're right, we haven't. What I had for dinner last night was a Rancho Gordo Bean Club soup recipe. I think it was called fagioli e farro or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to get back on the slow carb diet. And so I yesterday combed through all the Rancho Gordo newsletters they send with each shipment. And we've got 20 of them that I always save because they always have a bunch of good bean recipes. So I combed through all those, picked out the recipes that are good and said, we need to start meal planning and, being deliberate about our eating instead of just waiting to the last minute and then figuring it out. So I made that one first. What about you? What did you have for dinner last night, Doug?
I wish it was something more exciting.
It was Taco Tuesday.
It wasn't tacos. We haven't had this meal in a really long time, but I feel like I've talked about it so much that it's just gonna feel like, oh, Doug's having it again. The lenteroni from Issa Does It.
It's been a while since you talked about that, but yeah, that's a good one. I should add that to my list. It's not on slow carb, but if I use bean pasta or whatever it's called, Banza, that'd be all right. Well, good. I'm glad to hear it. I keep forgetting about that meal. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Jeffrey is constantly trying to get us to do Friday shows again and 5 shows a week and all that. So he put no Friday show still. Still not yet. We're talking about what to do next. Trying to figure it out. Don't worry, it will be announced shortly. Don't know if it will include Friday or not, but
it could, might.
It might. It very well
might not. Yeah,
right. We just don't know yet.
We don't know. We've had a lot of debate going around.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion.
Maybe a little dragging of feet too. So
a little bit, yeah. But it's past Labor Day. I think that's what we said. I think we said we had till Labor Day to stay on the summer schedule, and then we had to get it going. So we'll need to make a decision soon.
Oh, right. Kate had lenteroni last night too.
Wow, look at that. That's a coincidence. Maybe Kate heard you recommend it months ago and then started eating it.
Maybe so.
I don't know. Good. All right. That's it then. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, last show of the week, best day of the week. And until then, everyone enjoy your Wednesday.
All right. Sounds good.